Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. 17th Shloka. Yuktahara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapnava Bodhasya Yogo Bhavati Dukkaha. Substance. For him who is moderate in food and recreation, moderate in exertion of all actions, moderate in sleep and wakefulness, yoga destroys all pain and suffering caused by birth and death. Commentary. Be moderate, avoid excess in all things. This is the Lord's command. Yoga then destroys all suffering. So, if man suffers, the cause for it is the excessive indulgence in some form or another. Self control actually means the power by which man can order the body and mind to function according to the highest spiritual laws. There is no self control for the man whose body and mind act in their own way in defiance of the spiritual laws. This principle holds good in Dhyana Yoga. Enthusiastic beginners with more zeal than wisdom overdo the sadhana and consequently suffer discomfort and pain. And then they give up the practice altogether, thinking that they are not fit for it. Overdoing a good thing is as harmful as indulgence in bad things. Young students burn midnight oil to prepare for the examinations, and in writing the examination, they become exhausted and their whole work goes in vain. Even if they pass the examination, the after effects of overexertion cause some disease or another. So, also in spiritual sadhana, the progress should be slow, steady, and sure. Overexertion defeats the very purpose of yoga. Ascetic tortures of their body by fasting too much, and sleeplessness is not the way of yoga. A moderate way of life is yoga. The golden mean is yoga. Harmony and balance is yoga. It shows that a man can practice yoga while engaged in all the activities of life by strictly adhering to the laws of moderation. In fact, the body itself is made and sustained on the principle of harmony, balance, and moderation. Excess of heat burns it, excess of cold stiffens it. The eyes cannot see when there is excess of light. In darkness, totally also they cannot see. Extremes are alike. Moderate light and warmth are necessary for the proper functioning of the body. The analogy may be extended to the realm of the mind also. Excess of study dulls the brain and causes fatigue and nervous disorders. Excess of emotion causes insanity. The nervous system breaks down by agitation and mental conflict. So, moderation and harmony are the very principles of man's existence. It is the law of nature. Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, is possible only for the man who avoids excess in all activities of life. The yogi transcends all suffering by yoga. Question. What is the reward of Dhyana Yoga? Answer. All suffering is removed by yoga. Question. What are prescribed conditions? Answer. Moderation in food and recreation, in work, in sleep and wakefulness are the conditions of yoga. Question. What is the way to overcome suffering? Answer. Yoga, meditation on the self, the Lord. 18th Shloka. Yada viniyatam chittamatmanyevavatishtete nishpruha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. Substance. When perfectly controlled mind rests in the self, free from longing of all enjoyments, then it is said what that the yogi is united with the self. Commentary. When the mind is merged into Atma, that very moment man attains moksha, liberation from all the ills and evils of human existence. Three aspects of Yoga Siddhi are mentioned here. First one, desirelessness. Second, control of mind. And third, union with Atma. The same process is stated in Vedanta in different terminology. First, Vasanakshaya. Second, Manonasha. And third, Tattvagnana. One is actioned by the others, that is, by the elimination of all desires, mind ceases to exist and the Atmagnana is realized. When Atmagnana dawns, the mind with all its prosperity or propensity for material enjoyments is destroyed. Desires are the shackles that bind man to samsara. When these desires disturb the mind, dhyana is not possible. When by discrimination and dispassion desires are rooted out, the pure mind automatically emerges in Atma, which is the source from which it has arisen. All the desires without any reservation should be given up. The mind should be brought to one focal point and remain steady at that point, namely the self. The least distraction draws it away from the object of meditation. The mind should rest in Atma alone, to the complete exclusion of everything else. When there is no desire and distraction, the mind by itself becomes to rest on its own source, Atma. Such a yogi who rests steadfast in Atma is Yogarudaha. He is united with the Supreme Self. Question. When is it said that man has attained unity with Atma? Answer. When there are no desires, when the mind is controlled and rests in the self, then it is said that Yoga Siddhi is achieved. When these conditions are fulfilled, man attains liberation, moksha, freedom from everything that binds man to earthly life. The state of mind in Samadhi is described. 19th Shloka. Yadha Deepo Nivatasto Ningate Supama Smruta Yogino Yata Chittasya Yunjato Yogamatmanaha. Substance. As the lamp in a windless place does not flicker, that is thought to be the comparison of the yogi of controlled mind practicing union with self through Dhyana Yoga. Commentary. The mind of the yogi in meditation is compared to a steady light kept in a windless place. The illustration is fascinating and appropriate. Like the lamp, the mind of the yogi is effulgent with the light of knowledge, and it is also steady. The windows of the senses through which the objective world gets into the mind, causing destruction, are closed by perfect self control, and so the mind remains steady and firm in meditation. Just as the orb of the sun is clearly reflected in a pure, calm lake when there are no ripples or waves, so also the self is clearly reflected in a pure, calm mind. The impure mind is unsteady and restless due to the winds of desire blowing constantly, like the light placed in a windy place. Question 2. What is the meditating mind of the yogi compared? Answer. It is compared to a lamp kept in a windless place. The idea is the mind of the yogi is steady and illumined with the light of knowledge. Question. How should the mind be when it is to be merged to Atma? Answer. It should be perfectly controlled and free from any kind of disturbance resulting from the play of the senses.